Well, happy Halloween, everybody. You know what that means. Ghosts, goblins, spirits, haunted houses, and the rattling of chains. And speaking of chains, Colin Kaepernick is back in the news. Colin Kaepernick is likening the NFL to, or the NFL process, to slavery in his Netflix special. This comes to us by way of Fox Sports. Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is the Cultural Confederacy. It's Sunday night. Like I said, it's Halloween. Hope you're all having a safe and fun time. And if you like the video, please click that like button, subscribe, hit me up on Instagram at hashtag JasonComposes, leave comments below. And now you can reach me at Twitter, Cultural Confederacy at Twitter. Good news, I bought a computer. I got my first computer. It's an Acer Chromebook. It's the CX 1500. I was at Walmart the other day and I said, it's time to buy a computer for the channel. I need to kind of speed up the process in producing these videos. So this is going to help me get through articles a little bit quicker rather than having to handwrite things out. I can go ahead and just go to the article and read it to you here on the video. So I'm really excited. I paid $200 for this computer. And the story goes that I'm in the store and I had an Asus next to this computer here, which is this nice, it's got a 15-inch screen. It's an Acer, like I said, CX 1500, and right next to it on the right side of it was in black Asus, which I really liked. Had a nice feel to it, black, kind of that charcoal black color. And then on the left of that was a smaller computer. I can't remember if it was an HP, but that was $147. And I said, well, for everything that I need for the channel, all the things I need to do, this would be perfect. So I'm really happy with it. The other thing that kind of threw me off at first was where the mouse is, or the built-in mouse pad here. It's more to the left than it is into the center of the keyboard itself, and it also has a number pad on it. So I thought this would be a little difficult to navigate, or I wouldn't get used to it, but it's very comfortable. It seems very natural. So I like this. It's very sleek looking. It probably weighs about 2 pounds is the standard for some of these Chromebooks, but I like the feel of it, and it almost works as an Apple does. My aunt and uncle own Apple computers. They don't own the company, but they own a couple of Apple computers. They've always loved using Macs, and it's got the same look and feel as the Mac computer. Same sound quality with the speakers. Really good sound quality. And I can plug this up to my stereo and all that fun stuff. So just thought I'd share that with you. So now I have a computer. I'm in the 21st century, as they speak, as they say. As they speak. There we go. I'm actually thinking of I'm thinking of that album by David Sanborn. What's the song on that one? Port of Call is on the album. Or is it As We Speak? I think. Well, you know the album I'm talking about. A really good album by David Sanborn. But at any rate, here is this article from Fox Sports. This is by Andrew Mark Miller. I believe this came out either yesterday or the day before. So, title of the article, Colin Kaepernick likens NFL process to slavery in Netflix special. It says here, Colin in black and white aims to show the former NFL quarterback's life from high school to his current work as an activist. This is my first time reading from the screen as I'm doing this video, so bear with me as I go through this. So it says here, Colin Kaepernick's Netflix special drew scrutiny this week as the former NFL quarterback who hasn't played a down of football compared the NFL draft process and training camp to slavery. Colin in black and white explored the former NFL star's life from high school to the events that supposedly led him to become an advocate for social justice. One clip that had gone viral on social media showed Kaepernick comparing the scrutiny players received from coaches to that of slavers or slave owners. Quote, what they don't want you to understand is what's being established is a power dynamic, Kaepernick says, while walking through a staged NFL practice field. Before they put you on the field, teams poke, prod, and examine you, searching for any defect that might affect your performance. And then, of course, here they've got something from Twitter. They got a little video clip. And this is by My Thin-Formed Mike. My Thin-Formed Mike has this clip here, and it says, in his Netflix special, Colin Kaepernick suggests that the NFL training camp is synonymous with literally buying slaves. Unreal. And you got to see this picture of Colin Kaepernick. You know, he's trying to grow this afro. Folks, this ain't an afro. I've seen afros. This ain't an afro. This is something, he should be a spokesperson for Chia Pet, in my humble opinion. So Kaepernick went on to say, no boundary respect. And he earned, get this, over $40 million during his time in the NFL. No dignity left intact. Goes on to say, a line of actors playing NFL prospects, all of them black. This is a scream. Then walked by Kaepernick before morphing into slaves at an auction while shackles on whilst white slave owners bid on them. At one point, the owners start whipping the players as Kaepernick attempts to make the comparison between the abuse slaves suffered in the United States and the NFL combined process that determines which players are drafted into the league. Well, actually, there were certain protections, albeit these were slaves and they had limited rights, but there were protections for slaves. If you go back to I've talked about this before, the Georgia slave laws, 1755 to 1860, you can find that the Georgia State Archive site. It will walk you through these different laws they had in place for slaves. And slave owners who abused their slaves, they could be whipped. They could be sent to prison. If a slave owner didn't have a certain amount of arms on his property, and let's say I think he owned like 25 or some odd slaves, any more than 25 slaves, he had to be armed on that property. If he wasn't, he could be fined for that. And that fine, I think, in today's money, would equate to like over $1,200. So there were pretty hefty fines for abusing slaves and that sort of thing. And I'm not defending slavery, but there were laws in place at the time. You got to remember, these plantations worked more like corporations. They were producing products that were being sent to the North or overseas. So cotton, tobacco, sugar, any of these other products that were being sent, or agriculture products that were being sent north or overseas. This was all seen as a business, or these were the quote-unquote corporations of their day. So it's not like you had some slave owner or actually it would be a plantation owner, more correct term, wouldn't be some plantation owner just sitting there on the back porch sipping his iced tea. You know, I mean, he had to, this being a business, he had a lot of things he had to deal with as far as how to ship whatever the product was he was growing, how do you plant the product, finding ways to make it more efficient in producing that product. And you also had indentured servants. I've talked about this before, indentured servants that worked on plantations with slaves as well. So a line of actors, and most of those were white indentured servants that came over from Europe, from the poorer classes in Europe. So Kaepernick in his series drew strong criticism on Twitter after the clip made its way across social media. And here's a picture of Colin Kaepernick when he was younger, deer in the headlights look. You know, he was, I actually have to say, I'm comfortable in my own masculinity to say, he was a pretty good looking guy when he was younger. Colin, what happened, man? What happened? Liberalism got a hold of him, that's what. No, it's okay if you're a liberal. There's nothing wrong with being liberal in this country. There's nothing wrong with being conservative. But when it gets to the point where you're infringing on the rights of other people, I don't go for that. And then you're going to scream and moan and complain about the NFL, and here you made your money working for the NFL, $40 million? Come on, man. I wish I could see $40 million. If I had a video here that went viral, okay, I mean, and I made $40 million off it, I don't think that would happen. But, I think I'd be pretty grounded and realize that I made my success because I worked for it. I'm not going to say that I was in slavery. Should I say that I was in slavery all these years because I had to get hand-me-downs and had to work for everything that I have? Is that a form of slavery? Oh, I got a clip going here. Let me try to stop the clip here. I'm still trying to get used to how to maneuver this computer, so please bear with me. So going down through the article here. Okay, it says here, Kaepernick drew national attention in 2016 for sitting and kneeling during the national anthem as a member of the 49ers due to what he said was a protest against police brutality in the United States. The next year, he opted out of his contract to become a free agent and failed to make his way onto another NFL roster. Another picture of him with an afro with the deer in the headlights look. Actually, he's looking to the side. Looks kind of crazy in this photo. They let me out of the mental institution. They let me out. They let me out. I want to be your friend. The former quarterback has insisted that his failure to rejoin the league was due to being blacklisted by NFL owners who opposed his anthem protest. He sued the NFL and ultimately received an undisclosed settlement. I bet. Now it's getting a little dry here. Since his NFL days, Kaepernick has scored endorsements with major companies like Nike and Netflix deal and other agreements that have reportedly netted him tens of millions of dollars. Speaking of Nike, what about all the quote-unquote slave labor happening in third world countries with Nike? Nothing against Nike, but come on now. They're not getting paid the best wages here an hour in those third world countries. I can guarantee you that. And you're going to complain about how much you're making here in the NFL. You're really oppressed, Colin. Okay. Anything else to the article? No, that's it. It's just a short article here on Fox Sports. But folks, it just goes to show you the hypocrisy of these people. They make millions of dollars a year, and they're screaming about how bad things are, or in this case with Colin Kaepernick, how the NFL is close to slavery or engaging in quote-unquote slave practices. Either you make the cut or you don't. They want the best working for them at the NFL. It's just like if you go in for a job interview. They're going to ask you tons of questions in a job interview. Are you suitable for the job? You may or may not make the cut in the job world. Or whatever job you're trying to apply for. So I thought I'd go through here and do this article for you tonight on Halloween. No, probably not my best video, I'm sure. But I'm trying to get used to how to read the screen here while I'm doing this video with you. This is something new for me. So thanks for bearing with me. Thanks for allowing me to stumble my way through this. And if you enjoyed the video, please click that like button, subscribe, hit me up on Instagram at hashtag Jason Composes, leave comments below. And now you can reach me at Twitter, Culture Confederacy at Twitter. So I will catch you next time. This is the Culture Confederacy saying peace out. Stay safe, everybody. God bless this great country. And you all have a great Halloween.